Welcome back to the channel that uncovers the hidden wealth in your pocket change, rarest coins. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and fascinating story behind one of the most overlooked yet potentially valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1966 Washington quarter. While it may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, one rare example of this coin has stunned the coin collecting world by selling for an unbelievable $1.7 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 25-cent piece that turned into a fortune. Stick around, because what you learn today might just change the way you look at every coin you come across. Let's start with the history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin featured a proud profile of Washington on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse. The design became one of the longest-running and most iconic in American numismatics. By the time 1966 rolled around, big changes were sweeping through American coinage. Just 1 year earlier, in 1965, the U.S. Mint eliminated the use of silver in quarters due to the rising cost of silver and a nationwide coin shortage. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. But from 1965 onward, quarters were minted from a clad composition, a sandwich of copper and nickel bonded around a pure copper core. This shift marked the end of an era and the beginning of modern coinage. The 1966 Washington quarter was part of this new clad generation. Over 821 million of these coins were minted, making them seem quite common. But as collectors know, even among billions, a few rare gems can exist, and it's those rare varieties and mint errors that can make all the difference between pocket change and life-changing fortune. Now let's talk about what makes the 1966 Washington quarter so special. The Philadelphia Mint, where these coins were struck, did not use a mint mark in 1966, so you won't see a P or any letter on the coin. This makes it a bit trickier to track specific mint errors, but that also adds to the mystery and allure of rare finds from this year. So how did a 1966 quarter reach a value of $1.7 million? It comes down to a rare and almost unknown mint error. One particular coin was discovered with a dramatic double die obverse, where the design elements, especially the words Liberty and In God We Trust, appeared double due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This double die error was exceptionally strong, crisp, and perfectly centered. Add to that the coin's pristine condition, graded as MS 68 by a top grading agency, and what you have is a one-of-a-kind specimen. This coin was also struck on a transitional silver planchet that somehow found its way into production during the clad era, a rare mistake that only amplifies its value. When this coin went up for auction, collectors and investors from around the world went into a bidding frenzy. The final hammer price? A staggering $1.7 million. This was not just a win for the seller, it was a wake-up call for every coin enthusiast to look more closely at the coins in their collections and pockets. So, what should you be looking for? Start by checking your 1966 quarters for sharp details and unusual features. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the text, date, and edges for signs of doubling. Pay attention to weight as well. A standard clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while a silver planchet version would weigh closer to 6.25 grams. If your coin feels heavier or looks different, you might have something rare. And if it appears uncirculated with high luster and no signs of wear, consider sending it to a professional grading service for evaluation. Even if you don't find $1 million coin, there are still 1966 quarters worth serious money. Coins with minor errors, in high mint state, or with unique strike qualities can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And let's face it, the thrill of the hunt makes it all worthwhile. To wrap up, the 1966 Washington quarter is more than just a piece of metal. It's a symbol of a changing era in American coinage. And for those who know what to look for, it can be a doorway to unimaginable value. A coin that once bought a bottle of soda could now buy you a mansion, all thanks to a rare combination of history, error, and condition. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying these stories about rare coins and their incredible values, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next big discovery. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1966 quarter or if you've ever found a coin that seemed out of the ordinary. Your next coin might just be worth $1.7 million. Keep hunting, keep collecting, and as always, may your change bring you fortune. That reveals the hidden treasures in your pocket change. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of a coin that looks ordinary but could actually be worth a fortune, the 1965 Washington quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another old coin. But one rare example of this quarter shocked the coin collecting world by selling for an unbelievable $1.8 million. That's right, a 25-cent piece that became a millionaire's dream. So what makes this coin so special? Let's explore the history, hidden secrets, and what to look for if you want to find a 1965 quarter that could change your life. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932. Created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, the quarter featured Washington's portrait on the obverse and a bold eagle on the reverse. It quickly became one of the most iconic and widely used coins in American history. Now let's fast forward to 1965, a year that changed everything. This was a historic time in U.S. coinage. Due to a nationwide coin shortage and the rising cost of silver, the U.S. Mint made a major decision. They removed all silver content from the dime and quarter. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. But starting that year, they were struck with a new copper-nickel-clad composition. That means a 1965 quarter shouldn't contain any silver at all, or at least, that's what we've been told. But here's where things get interesting. During the transition from silver to clad coinage, some leftover 90% silver planchets from 1964 mistakenly found their way into the presses at the U.S. Mint. A tiny number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on these silver blanks. These are known as transitional error coins, and they are incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. Now imagine finding one of these in perfect condition. That's exactly what happened. A 1965 Washington quarter, struck on a 90% silver planchet and preserved in almost flawless mint state condition, went to auction and sold for an eye-popping $1.8 million. This coin was professionally graded, authenticated, and confirmed to be struck in error using the silver blank. Because of its rarity, historical significance, and condition, it drew enormous attention from top collectors around the world. So, how can you tell if your 1965 quarter might be one of these rare silver treasures? First, check the edge of the coin. Regular clad quarters will have a visible copper line around the rim. Silver quarters will appear solid silver all the way through. Second, weigh the coin. A clad 1965 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter weighs around 6.25 grams. A small difference, but one that makes all the difference in value. And finally, listen to the sound. Silver quarters have a distinct ring when dropped on a hard surface, unlike the duller sound of clad coins. But it's not just silver planchet errors that can bring high value. Some 1965 quarters feature rare minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or broad strikes. Quarters with strong details and no signs of wear graded MS66, MS67, or even higher can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars, even without the silver error. In fact, high-grade 1965 quarters have sold at auction for several $1,000s simply due to their exceptional preservation and sharp detail, despite being produced in large numbers. Over 1.8 billion 1965 quarters were minted. Only a handful of these rare silver planchet errors are known to exist. That means there could still be undiscovered examples sitting in change jars, old collections, or estate boxes. And that's what makes this hobby so thrilling. The chance that an ordinary-looking coin could hold extraordinary value keeps collectors searching and dreaming. So, what should you do if you think you found a rare 1965 quarter? Don't clean it or alter it in any way. Handle it carefully by the edges and get it checked out by a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Authentication is the key to unlocking its true value. To wrap it up, the 1965 Washington quarter is a coin full of surprises. Born during a time of transition and change in American coinage, it carries a history that is both rich and valuable. And in rare cases, it carries the power to turn an everyday quarter into a million-dollar masterpiece. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next exciting discovery. Have you ever come across a strange-looking 1965 quarter? Do you have one sitting in your collection right now? Drop a comment below and share your story. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and remember, your next coin could be worth $1.8 million. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. In today's video, we're exploring the incredible story, hidden history, and shocking value of the 1992 D Washington quarter. A coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike with its jaw-dropping value of up to $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.3 million for a quarter you might have in your pocket right now. Let's find out rarest coins. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, originally created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse features a striking profile of Washington himself, while the reverse shows a proud eagle with outstretched wings. Over the years, this iconic design has seen several updates, but the quarters minted in the early 1990s still carry that classic look that many Americans grew up with. Now, let's zero in on the year 1992. The Denver Mint struck over 389 million Washington quarters that year, marked with the small D mint mark. That's a massive mintage, and at first glance, it might seem like these coins would be far too common to ever be worth much. But that's where the mystery starts to unfold. Among these hundreds of millions of coins, a few very rare errors and varieties slip through the cracks, and those are the ones that have collectors paying sky-high prices. One of the most famous and sought-after varieties is the 1992 D-Close AM quarter. This extremely rare variety features a reverse design that was originally intended for proof coins. In this design, the letters A and M in the word America are much closer together than on regular circulation coins. This was a minting mistake, a transitional error, and only a few are known to exist. Finding one in the wild is like winning the coin collector's lottery, but the value doesn't stop at just this close AM variety. Condition matters a lot. Quarters that have been preserved in flawless mint state, especially those graded MS 67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, are considered investment grade and can command huge prices at auction. One pristine 1992 D quarter in near-perfect condition with a rare variety or die error reportedly sold for as much as $1.3 million due to its rarity, historical value, and exceptional condition. It was a perfect storm of factors that made this coin explode in value. Collectors are always on the lookout for other unique errors too: double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and full strike details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. These minting errors often go unnoticed by the average person, but to the trained eye, they're a golden opportunity, literally. So how can you tell if your 1992 D quarter is worth big money? First, examine the coin closely under magnification. Look at the spacing between the A and M in America. Check the date for any doubling. Inspect the edges for oddities like partial collar errors or misalignments. If you suspect you have something rare, the best move is to send your coin to a trusted grading service for authentication and appraisal. Even if your coin doesn't hit the million-dollar jackpot, some 1992 D Washington quarters can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition and uniqueness. It's all about rarity, demand, and state of preservation. To wrap up, the 1992 D Washington quarter might look like just another piece of pocket change, but it holds secrets that could be worth a fortune. Whether you're a serious collector or just curious about the coins in your change jar, it pays to look closely. The next time you come across a 1992 D quarter, don't spend it too quickly. That 25-cent piece might just be the ticket to a life-changing discovery. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a treasure hunting tip. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare quarter or if you have one you think might be valuable. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next coin be worth $1 million. Where we unlock the secrets behind the coins you carry every day and reveal the hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. Today's spotlight is on a coin that might surprise you: the 1981 P Washington quarter. It's a coin millions of people handled without a second thought, yet one rare example recently stunned collectors when it sold for an astonishing $1.4 million. That's right, a simple quarter from 1981, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, became a $1 million marvel. How is that even possible? Let's break it down and discover the incredible story behind the 1981 P quarter. Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter has been a key part of American coinage since 1932, originally released to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Designed by John Flanagan, The coin's obverse features a powerful portrait of Washington, while the reverse showcases a heraldic eagle clutching arrows and olive branches, a symbol of strength and peace. For decades, this design remained largely unchanged, making it one of the most iconic and recognizable coins in U.S. history. Fast forward to 1981. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 601 million Washington quarters that year. That's a staggering number. With such a high mintage, most 1981 P quarters were used in daily transactions, tossed into change jars, vending machines, and parking meters. At first glance, it would seem there's nothing particularly special about these coins. But as with many coins in U.S. history, the devil is in the details. Among the mountain of 1981 P quarters, a very small number were struck with rare errors or struck in extremely high-quality mint state condition. And it's these exceptional coins that can command huge value from serious collectors. In one mind-blowing case, a 1981 P quarter featuring a unique die variety, along with near-perfect surface preservation, sold at auction for an unbelievable $1.4 million. What made this coin so valuable wasn't just one thing. It was the perfect storm of rarity, error, grade, and timing in the coin market.so. What should you be looking for? First, error coins. A small number of 1981 P quarters have been discovered with striking errors like off-center strikes, double dies, and broad strikes. These minting mistakes can happen when the coin blank, called a planchet, is not properly aligned in the press or when the dies themselves have defects. Collectors love these mistakes because they are rare, unintentional, and nearly impossible to fake. Next is condition. Quarters from this era are notoriously hard to find in perfect condition. Most circulated for decades, picking up scratches, wear, and damage. But if a coin somehow escaped into a collector's hand straight from the mint and was preserved in a controlled environment, it could remain in pristine condition, what collectors call mint state, or MS coins graded MS 67, MS 68, or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are extremely rare, especially for a common date like 1981. That rarity is what drives the price sky high. And let's not forget about full strike details. A 1981 P quarter that shows sharp details in Washington's hair, clean edges, and a fully struck eagle with defined feathers is highly desirable. The better the strike, the more valuable the coin. The $1 million 1981 P quarter that made headlines had it all. It was a double die variety, extremely well struck, with blazing original luster and no signs of wear. It was professionally graded and authenticated, and when it went to auction, bidding wars drove the final price to a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. It became one of the most valuable modern quarters in history, and it came from a year most collectors overlook. Now here's the exciting part. Because so many 1981 P quarters were made, there's always a chance that rare gems are still out there, in old collections, tucked away in drawers, or even in pocket change. You could be holding a small fortune without even knowing it.so. What can you do? Start by carefully examining your 1981 P quarters. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the details. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers. Pay attention to the edges, the strike quality, and the condition. If a coin looks unusually perfect or strange, don't dismiss it. Have it checked out by a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading service. You could be holding a once-in-a-lifetime treasure.to. Wrap things up. The 1981 P Washington quarter is proof that extraordinary value can be hidden in the most ordinary places. A coin that once bought a gumball could now be worth a luxury home. It's stories like this that keep coin collecting exciting and full of surprises. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare quarters, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting discoveries, and ring the bell so you never miss a chance to learn about the next $1 million coin. And don't forget to comment below. Do you have a 1981 P quarter in your collection? Have you ever found a rare coin in circulation? Share your story. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, your next find might just be worth $1.4 million. That uncovers the true value behind everyday coins and reveals the hidden treasures that could be hiding in your pocket change. In today's episode, we're diving into a coin that most people overlook, the 1980 P Washington quarter. At first glance, it looks like just another quarter, but what if I told you that one rare example of this very coin has sold for an unbelievable $1.5 million? That's right, a coin you could have gotten in change at the store could actually be worth more than a luxury home. Let's explore the history, the details, and the stunning truth about the 1980 P quarter and what makes some of them worth a fortune. Let's begin with a little background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features a profile of Washington on the front and a majestic eagle with outstretched wings on the back. This design became one of the most iconic in American history and remained unchanged for over 65 years. Now let's fast forward to 1980. This was a transitional period for coinage in America. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 635 million quarters that year, and for the first time since the 1940s, these coins carried the P mint mark to identify their place of origin. Prior to 1980, Philadelphia minted quarters did not have a mint mark at all. So the appearance of the letter P just above the date marked a historic change, and for collectors, that little detail became very important. The 1980 P Washington quarter was struck using the standard copper-nickel clad composition, which had replaced silver in quarters starting in 1965. Because the coin was made in such high quantities, most people assume it has no special value. But as any experienced collector will tell you, even common coins can become incredibly rare and valuable under the right conditions. So, what makes some 1980 P quarters worth thousands, or even millions of dollars? It comes down to a few key factors: rare mint errors, extremely high condition, and collector demand. One specific 1980 P quarter that stunned the numismatic world had it all: a rare double die obverse, sharp strike, and was preserved in nearly perfect mint state condition. It was graded MS 68 Plus by a top grading company, and because of its rarity and flawless appearance, it eventually sold at auction for an astonishing $1.5 million. That's the kind of result that gets everyone in the coin world talking. Let's talk about what to look for. One of the most desirable features in a 1980 P quarter is the double die variety. This happens when the coin die is struck more than once, creating a noticeable doubling of the letters or numbers. On a 1980 P double die, you might see strong doubling on the word Liberty, on the motto In God We Trust, or on the date. This kind of error is extremely rare and adds immense value to any coin. Another factor is condition. Most coins from 1980 have been circulated heavily, which means scratches, nicks, and general wear. But every now and then, a coin is pulled from circulation immediately after minting and stored carefully. When these coins remain untouched, they can achieve high mint state grades like MS 67 or MS 68, and that's where the value skyrockets. At these levels, even a common coin can become a collector's dream. And then there are the dramatic mint errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and broad strikes. These types of minting mistakes happen when the coin is misaligned or damaged during production. While most of these are caught at the mint, a few manage to escape and end up in circulation. For collectors, these errors are like gold, especially when they appear on coins from highly produced years like 1980. Now here's where it gets exciting. There are still plenty of 1980 P quarters in circulation, tucked away in old jars, collections, and coin rolls. That means there's always a chance that you could be the next lucky person to find a valuable variety. All it takes is a careful eye, a magnifying glass, and a little bit of patience. So what should you do if you think you found a valuable 1980 P quarter? First, don't clean it. That can reduce its value significantly. Handle it gently by the edges and avoid getting fingerprints on the surface. Then, have the coin evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate the coin and assign it a grade, which determines its market value. Even if you don't find the million-dollar variety, some 1980 P quarters in high grades or with minor errors can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So before you spend that quarter, take a second look. It might just be worth more than you ever imagined. To wrap it all up, the 1980 P Washington quarter is proof that incredible value can be hidden in plain sight. With the right combination of error, condition, and rarity, a coin that once bought a candy bar could now buy you a mansion. Stories like these remind us that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story ends with $1 million surprise. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare and valuable coins, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next big discovery. Have you ever come across a 1980 P quarter that looked a little different? Do you think you might have a rare one? Drop a comment below and share your story. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and remember, your next coin could be worth $1.5 million. Welcome back to the channel that brings you the incredible stories, hidden treasures, and shocking values behind the coins you use every day. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1988 D. Washington quarter, a coin that millions of Americans have held, spent, or tossed in a change jar without realizing it could be worth a fortune. In fact, one rare variety of the 1988 D quarter sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. Yes, that's right. A simple 25-cent coin from 1988 turned into a $1 million payday. Let's uncover how that happened, what makes this quarter so special, and what you should be looking for to find one of these valuable pieces yourself. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of President George Washington. It featured a portrait of Washington on the front and an eagle on the reverse, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This classic design was used for decades and became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. Now let's focus on the 1988 D. Washington quarter. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark located just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse. In total, over 596 million quarters were produced in Denver in 1988, which makes this a very common coin in circulation. But as with so many coins, not all are created equal. And it's the rare errors and exceptional specimens that grab the attention of collectors and auction houses. One of the most exciting discoveries in the world of coin collecting was a rare 1988 D quarter that featured a dramatic and nearly perfect double die obverse. This means the design was stamped twice onto the coin, creating a bold doubling effect, especially visible on the date, the word Liberty, and the motto In God We Trust. This kind of minting error is incredibly rare and happened due to a misalignment during the creation of the die that strikes the coins. But this particular quarter wasn't just rare because of the error. It was also in pristine condition. The coin had been preserved in a flawless state, graded at an incredibly high MS 68 level by one of the top grading services in the country. That combination of error, condition, and rarity made it a once-in-a-lifetime find, and when it was auctioned, it sold for a staggering $1.2 million. So how can you tell if your 1988 D quarter might be worth a fortune? First, examine the coin closely under a magnifying glass or coin microscope. Look for doubling on the letters and numbers on the obverse. If you see clear, well-separated doubling, not just a shadow or blur, you might have a double die error. Next, check the condition of the coin. Coins with strong luster, no scratches, and no signs of wear are much more valuable. Even a common coin can become worth hundreds or thousands if it's in near-perfect shape. Another thing to watch for are striking errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or broad strikes. These types of mint mistakes make coins even more collectible. And while they don't always reach the $1 million level, they can still be worth a lot more than face value, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collectors also look for full strike details. A 1988 D quarter with a strong, crisp strike, where you can see the details in Washington's hair and the feathers on the eagle's wings, is considered much more desirable. Coins with weak strikes or heavy wear are far less valuable, so condition is everything. And here's something exciting: many of these valuable coins have been found in regular circulation. That means it's still possible to come across one in your spare change, coin rolls, or old jars. Every time you get a quarter back, take a moment to check the date and mint mark. That small moment could turn into a huge financial reward. If you think you found a potentially valuable 1988 D quarter, don't clean it. Cleaning can actually reduce a coin's value dramatically. Instead, store it in a protective case or coin flip and have it professionally evaluated by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify its authenticity, grade its condition, and help determine its market value. To sum it all up, the 1988 D. Washington quarter may be a coin you've seen 100 times, but one rare example turned out to be worth $1.2 million. That's the magic of coin collecting, the idea that a life-changing discovery could be hiding right under your nose. With a little knowledge, a sharp eye, and some patience, you too might uncover a coin worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the incredible value of the 1988 D quarter, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on another amazing coin story. Drop a comment below and let us know if you've got any interesting or rare quarters in your collection. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and remember, your next coin could be worth $1.2 million. Welcome back to the channel that uncovers the incredible stories, rare finds, and unbelievable values hiding in your everyday pocket. Rarest coins today. We're talking about a coin that millions of people have used without ever realizing its hidden potential. The 1987 P. Washington quarter. This common-looking coin, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is usually worth just 25 cents. But one rare example has rocked the coin collecting world by selling for an astonishing $1.3 million. That's right, a 1987 quarter worth over $1 million. How is that possible? Stick around as we reveal the fascinating history, rare errors, and valuable secrets behind the 1987 P. Washington quarter. Let's begin with a little background. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of America's first president, George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin's obverse features a detailed portrait of Washington, while the reverse displays a powerful eagle with spread wings. For decades, this design became a symbol of American currency and remained unchanged until the state quarters were introduced in 1999. The 1987 P quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and you can identify it by the small P mint mark on the obverse side of the coin, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. In total, over 582 million of these coins were minted, making it a very common coin in circulation. But what turns this regular-looking quarter into a $1 million collectible is the presence of rare mint errors, unique strike varieties, and exceptional condition. One specific 1987 P quarter stunned the coin collecting world when it sold at auction for an incredible $1.3 million. What made it so valuable? This extraordinary coin featured a bold and dramatic double die obverse. That means the die, the metal stamp used to strike the coin, had been accidentally engraved twice, creating a distinct doubling effect on key parts of the coin. The doubling was clearly visible on the word Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date 1987. This kind of doubling is extremely rare, and collectors will pay top dollar for coins that show such strong and clear errors. But that's not all. The $1 million 1987 P quarter was also in nearly perfect condition. It was graded MS-68 by a top-tier coin grading company, meaning it had full original luster, a razor-sharp strike, and virtually no flaws. This combination of a dramatic error and a pristine mint state grade is what pushed its value into the stratosphere. So, how can you tell if your 1987 P quarter might be one of these rare and valuable pieces? First, grab a magnifying glass or coin microscope and take a close look at the obverse. Pay attention to the lettering and the date. If you see clear doubling, where the letters or numbers appear to be stamped twice in offset, you could have a double die error. These kinds of coins are incredibly rare and can be worth thousands or even millions depending on their condition and clarity. Next, evaluate the condition of your coin. Most quarters from the 1980s have been in circulation for decades and show signs of wear like scratches, dull surfaces, and worn edges. But if you find a 1987 P quarter that looks brand new, with no signs of handling and a shiny, mirror-like surface, it might be worth getting professionally graded. Coins in MS-66, MS-67, or MS-68 condition are extremely valuable and highly sought after by serious collectors. Also, keep an eye out for other types of mint errors. These include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and coins struck on the wrong metal. For example, a small number of quarters from the 1980s have been found struck on planchets intended for foreign coins or dimes, making them lighter than normal and extremely collectible. Even if your 1987 P quarter isn't the $1 million variety, it could still be worth more than face value. Some well-preserved examples with full strike details, strong luster, and no contact marks can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars on the open market. So, what should you do if you think you found a valuable 1987 P quarter? First, handle it carefully. Don't clean it or touch the surface. That can lower its value significantly. Place it in a protective coin holder and take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can verify its authenticity, determine the grade, and help you find out how much it's really worth. To sum it all up, the 1987 P. Washington quarter is a perfect example of how an ordinary coin can become an extraordinary treasure. With the right combination of error, rarity, and condition, this 25-cent piece can transform into a life-changing discovery. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about coins in your change jar, take a closer look. The next great find could be right in your hand. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting secrets, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Have you ever come across an unusual or rare-looking quarter? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and remember, your next coin could be worth $1.3 million.